Hey everyone, Beano Nintendo here, and there's been a recent trend of people listing the team of 6 Pokemon they'd realistically have. And hey, I'm a Pokemon fan who is technically also an influencer, so I might as well hop on the trend. And I've also lived in 6 states, so I can do something kind of cool here and tell my life story through my Pokemon team. So, I was born in Ohio, and I was kind of a problem child who lashed out because I had a hard time understanding the world around me. And because of that, my parents saw fit to get me a gentle animal companion who was just there for love and was never going to confuse me. So, they gave me this big orange dog named Nutmeg, who really did grow up with me. I'm choosing to represent her with a Growlithe that eventually evolves into Arcanine because this dog, I had her from the first grade all the way through 12th grade. So I had her throughout my entire childhood, basically. Next, I moved to Michigan, and that's when I started getting really into cartoons, but not just watching them on the TV, but also drawing them. I had this Fairly Odd Parents magazine that was like a collection of comics, and I remember I would try and replicate the art style in those comics and kind of try and draw myself and people I knew and my characters in the Butch Hartman style, and then that eventually morphed into the style that you see in my videos now. And then once I started drawing, you really couldn't get me to stop. I have wrecked many a notebook, many a worksheet with oodles and oodles of doodles, and so that's why I'm giving myself a Smeargle, because even though it is the painter Pokemon, its signature move is called Sketch, and it learns Sketch every 10 levels, which, is way overkill for a single move. But I was kind of overkill with my sketching, so I think it works. Next, I moved to Nebraska, where we got another new addition to the family, a Dachshund Pekingese mix called Ani. Now, you might think, hearing that mix of dogs, that I would go for a Dachshund here, or maybe a Snubble for the Pekingese side, but I'm actually going Poochyena because, I'll show a side-by-side here. Yeah, that color scheme, that underbite, it's even kind of long like Ani was. Yeah, I don't think I'm getting a closer match than that. And then I went off to Missouri for college and joined Delta Upsilon fraternity, where the mascot was the DU Ducks. Their colors are old gold and sapphire blue, which fits perfectly for the color scheme of Psyduck and then its evolution, Golduck. Maybe you could come up with a narrative. I was given a Psyduck during the initiation process, and then once I became a full-on member, it evolved, or maybe it evolved once I got on exec board or something. There's 4 years to come up with a narrative for that. But after college, I moved to New York City, and there are quite a few different angles that I could approach this from, but sometimes you just gotta go with the most obvious one. New York is full of pigeons, and it's full of many different colors of pigeons too, which is why I think I wouldn't only get a Pidove. I think I'd be able to hunt for a shiny Pidove pretty easily. I think the closest to a unique pigeon color that I actually saw while I was in New York would be the brownish color of the female unpheasant. So yeah, I'm gonna say I caught a Pidove. I was in New York for 7 years, so I had plenty of time to evolve it, and yeah, I got myself a shiny female unpheasant. And thus, we come to the modern day. moving to Minnesota, where I discovered my cat. And let's see, where is she? Let's get her on camera. There she is. That's Ellie. I discovered her in my back parking lot. And her name is actually short for elephant. There's a whole story there that I can get into. So I thought about, like, oh, maybe I could put Fanpy or Qfant on the team. But, like, that's not very Minnesota-like now, is it? All right. I recorded this segment earlier, but I kept saying Galarian Meowth. Alolan, Alolan, Alolan Meowth is what Ellie would be to me. The darker color scheme, I guess purple is kind of close to black. There weirdly hasn't really been a black cat Pokemon yet, but also the fact that Alolan Meowth looks that way because they're a spoiled brat, they're pampered. Yeah, that applies to Ellie. She wakes me up super early every morning asking for wet food, even though her bowl is full of dry food. She's just like, I want a spoonful of wet food, please. And then also, the Meowth line canonically hates Pikachu, and Ellie is a mouser. She would mess a Pikachu up if she got her hands on one. So, yeah, I think that fits pretty well. And yeah, that's it. Those are the 6 Pokemon that I would have. But 30 some odd years, like, I'm gonna catch more than that. I can flash a few other Pokemon that I feel like would be in my PC box or maybe would have been in my party at different points in the journey. But I didn't want to make this super long. I wanted to make this short. I'm doing YouTube Shorts for the first time and TikTok and stuff. Haven't really tried this before. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed getting a little bit more insight into my life. If you want more of that, I would recommend pledging to me on Patreon. I currently have a very long video essay in the works called The Media That Shaped My Move to Minnesota. It's about halfway done right now. For as little as $1 a month, you can see my progress on that and learn more about this chapter in my life. Hell, the explanation for why Ellie is named Elephant, that's gonna be in a future part. So hey, if you want to know that secret before anyone else, you can learn it there. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. Until next time, this is Beano Nintendo signing off.